windy one today in one of those days over here in the UK.
Winds howling.
Winds howling.
Only
Ravens.
Only the real
Calling.
ones will get that. Winds howling.
What's that a reference to?
Every time there's a gust of wind in The Witcher 3, Geralt will just say,
Oh, really?
winds howling.
Spiders webbing. That's the spiders
Doctors octopusing.
mod for The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3 spider mod.
The Witcher 3 London mod.
Oi, knives stabbing.
Knife build in Witcher 3 London mod.
Stimming!
SpongeBob, I'm stimming. Where's my fidget spinner? SpongeGar might be the most frequent SpongeBob thing that I think about and reference. I do enjoy how frequently people post A24 movies be like, that bit from the end that's like a direct 2001 reference.
Yeah, how does it end?
Where it's doing the close up on his face with the music and stuff. It's a direct 2001 reference. And people are like, yeah, A24 movies be like.
Yeah, A24 be getting a rep for that sort of.
No, I feel like SpongeBob deserves all of it.
That era of SpongeBob. Kind of.
It's pure.
Pioneer.
It's pure.
Yeah.
It's wholesome, but also kind of funny and edgy at the same time.
Yeah. Brutal almost.
Yeah, there's sort of a brutality to what SpongeGar brings to the screen.
Yeah.
With Patgar as well. Don't forget about Patgar.
Was Squidgar a thing?
I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I need to rewatch SpongeGar.
Again, another thing we were spoiled with in our childhood.
Yeah.
We had the best Simpsons, the best
Simpsons, best
SpongeGar.
Best Fairly Odd Parents seasons. Nah. There was never a best Fairly Odd Parents seasons. Hate that shit.
Well, I guess good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Brocast number 11. 1-1. I discovered a new thing.
Which?
It. No, look.
Ooh.
It.
Like the clown.
So if you're going do it, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Number 11, do it.
Yeah. Why did I say that? I didn't.
Did you just freebase that? Did you just come up with that on the spot?
Well, I am getting into freestyling. Would you like to hear?
Do it.
I guess I'm your host, Alex, joined by Jim, who's sat in the host seat, just to keep that nice and not complicated.
In the host seat.
Which I quite
Is there a
enjoy.
host seat?
I consider.
Is it called that just because it's where you normally sit?
I did consider, especially in the old setup, with the sofa and the single seat, it felt like there was a host seat.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd change it up, but this doesn't seem like it really matters aside from just the height elevation, really.
Yeah, true. It does give you an air of superiority, being higher.
Do you like it up there? Does it get into your head a little bit?
It is getting to my head. I don't know if that's the lack of
we might
oxygen.
revolt from down here.
Yeah.
Do a little.
Yeah, I've got to be in control. People, relax. Everything's going to be fine. Speaking of controlling people, it's the British election very soon. So we're going to start running out the broadcast for Bracket Blue.
Finally. I think the time has come.
Yeah, the manifesto.
Should be live now.
We've
on Bracket Blue Substack.
We got the pen working.
Yeah.
Drake, we got the pen working. Yeah, we're just going to start really getting into the nitty-gritty of immigration, taxation, mitigation,
illumination,
and forestation.
forestation or deforestation, or both?
Well, the topic of, really.
So register to vote, and then...
and if you can't see the option for bracket blue, just write it at the bottom, and then do a little box.
Yeah, in the other box.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. What was I talking about?
It.
Oh yeah, it. Thank you. That's right. I wanted to mention how it probably doesn't really work that well for audio listeners, so I'm sorry about it.
Yeah, bracket blue apologizes for it.
Before we get too deep into the show, let me just shout out those patrons on the Jar Media Patreon. Sorry, Patreons over at the Patreon. They make the audio version possible, get their names read out on the first or second week of each month if they're a Dibby tier or above. They've got the Jar Media group chat, people chatting left and right, giving suggestions for the show. And you gotta be patient with me on the Red Dead, as they say. Because I'm editing some other stuff right now. But I'll get to it.
It's like a roast dinner. You've got to...
And it's going to be a one of those mega American steaks. You know, this is a 3 hour long, juicy...
A 3-bone. A
trip
steak.
bone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 3 T-bones on top of once another.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to take a while to cook. But it's going to be a juicy one. I'm going to go straight into housekeeping because I got to say, this is one of those weeks where everyone was just aligning. There's some good stuff happening. There's some funny responses, some funny questions.
Okay.
You know, where it can be a little bit proud. You know what I'm saying? When these weeks come along.
Before we get into that, though, can I ask...
Of course.
And you might have to do some, like, audio dictating for what I'm about to do.
Okay.
But I want you to tell me if you understand what this means.
Okay.
Ready?
Right. So, quiet jaw. You're putting your finger up over your mouth as if to say shush, but then pointing to your jaw. Shut your mouth.
No.
Quiet mouth. Quiet jaw.
Let's do a quick role play.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Bringing it back, everybody.
Hooray.
Okay. So, ask me a question. Any question.
What color is the sky? Oh, shut up. My teeth hurt. I can't
Close.
speak?
What could you be doing that would limit your speaking capabilities?
Mewing.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm mewing.
Well, no, it means I can't talk. I'm mewing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's why you've been doing that to me for the past few weeks.
Yeah. No, this is a new like sign language has been invented.
By you?
No, this is like a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm mewing. That's what it means.
Quiet down.
So if
I'm
someone's ever interrupting you while you're mewing, what you do is you put your finger to your mouth like you're saying shh.
Yeah.
You turn your head and point to your jaw. They'll know what it means.
Wow. So if you're having a difficult conversation with your manager?
Yeah. You can use it as a get out clause for anything. You know?
Yeah. Having problems with a girlfriend?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine someone in like court for murder?
Yeah. The jury. Yeah. You're like the one that's going to settle the...
Yeah.
It's a hung jury and you're the one who's like...
He just wants that extra day in the jury hotel.
He's just loving it, living it up in the jury hotel.
Yeah. Getting that, what do they call them? Like the mini bar.
Do you get a mini bar?
I'm sure you would do somewhere. You probably have to pay, but...
Jury service. I've been called for jury duty. I'm up for the duty.
What do you hope your jury duty is about?
I'm torn on if I'd want it to be mad or not. Something actually entertaining or something benign. That's just sort of over in like a week. Instead of something that's like months.
Yeah.
What if you get like the perfect like conundrum? Like there's that film Magnolia that opens on this like example of someone who jumps off the top of a building to commit suicide, But meanwhile, there's a domestic dispute happening in a room, like a few stories down, with someone with a shotgun who fires, and the shotgun shot goes out the window and kills the person falling before they die from the suicide.
Yeah.
So, something like that.
Yeah, like a conundrum.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something from like a Sherlock Holmes book.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this old school detective with like the Sherlock hat on.
I could see the garden dirt under his fingernails.
So, this episode is sponsored by The Geek Cave. For all of your... By the way...
Yeah, so everybody check out the Geek Cave.
Bro, I'm not even joking. This is the latest Jarama. You know?
The Geek Cave.
You know, we briefly mentioned last week, like ads have started like playing on the Spotify audio versions.
Yeah.
Something happened. I'm just gonna play you something. Sometimes fate just rewards me.
Okay.
Rewards us. Rewards everybody.
Yeah.
Is just rewarding. The last episode. These ads, I guess, are just inserted, and this happened. Okay, I'm just gonna play some audio.
Do you remember a little guy by the name of Osama bin Laden?
Hey, I'm Darren. Justin. I'm Chad. And we're from
The Geek Cave.
Oh yeah, that's Kent. We've got great stuff for you if you're into video games, comics, or movies, including deep dives on really weird characters.
Bruce took an oath to rid the city of crime after the death of his parents. Since criminals are cowardly, he uses his fear of fishing lures to strike fear into criminals' hearts.
Yes. Reviews of video games that just made me want to pull what was left of my hair out. Classic tale of boy meets girl. Girl inadvertently opens a hole in the fabric of time and space. And movie reviews that may or may not become musical movie reviews.
Hey, this movie's more than just okay. I mean, it's no Citizen Kane, but I will watch it over. Wells don't get the same from me.
So make sure to check us out on all of your favorite podcast services. Just search for The Geek Cave Podcast. You can also find us on social media and...
Whoa. Check out the Geek Cave. Dude, that timing.
No, because so many people like wrote in saying, I thought this was like an intentional bit, like, and I was listening intently thinking it was like a bit like you'd put in. And people like posted on the subreddit, and I just left a comment like, I just woke up and saw this, and I've been like scream laughing for the past like 5 minutes because it's just so ridiculous, so absurd.
Yeah, our first sponsor. At least they understand our humor.
They do. Maybe we should try and see if we can be a guest on the Geek Cave.
Yeah. Talk about Bin Laden on the Geek Cave.
Well, speaking of that, a few people left comments about this, like Sit Like Lemon, who said the movie Where in the World is Osama bin Laden actually concluded that Osama was likely in the tribal areas of Pakistan. He was probably freaking out watching that and had to put on Chicken Little to calm down. We also mentioned Rupert Grint at some point, which Rain Roy said, Hello gamers, first time posting here, but after listening to the recent episode I knew I had to tell my experience with Rupert Grint. I value mine and his privacy, so locations won't be mentioned. It was around 6 years ago, so the details are a little foggy. I used to work in a tech department store, and one day he visited with his dad. They went straight to the TV section, which I was working on at the time, and started to inquire about 32-inch TVs. My colleague assisted them. Around 20 minutes later, he left with around 10 of them. It was like Black Friday. This occurred again the next year. I wondered to what he would do with these. Maybe it was to relieve his memories on his time acting as his famous role of Alan A. Allen in the critically loved 61% Rotten Tomatoes movie Thunderpants. It was either that or he was constructing the largest goon cave to make mere mortals bow down to his godlike aura. Well, it turns out in recent years he's been trying to construct a Hogsmeade-style village off his estate. Take that as what you will, but yes, he's doing well, it seems.
Hogsmeade?
Yeah, isn't that where they go and like drink butter beer? I don't know why.
Butterbeer.
I don't know why I did the American thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was very.
Butterbeer.
Butterbeer. 1 butterbeer, please.
3 butterbeers for me, thanks.
Is that what they call it? Butterbeer.
I don't know. I've never heard of this. What the hell is Hogsmeade?
What's where you go to get butterbeer?
Can I have 1 butterbeer, please?
did you just invent butterbeer? What the is butterbeer?
It feels like it's in Harry Potter.
Yeah, it does.
We use magical essences to make this butter taste like beer.
Butterosia.
Butterbeer fear.
I'm wankered on the butterbeer.
Hurry, let's get wankered. Why does he need so many TVs for a butterbeer village, though?
I don't know, unless like maybe he's just buying TVs for everyone in the village just to be a chill guy, or he's got some like crazy, the end of the Dark Knight, like all the screens and like.
He's watching everyone.
Grint will watch.
Yeah, I wonder how much money he got from that.
It was probably like very little for the first one, comparatively, and then
It
with
would've
each
got more
one
and more.
growing and growing and growing and growing. Yeah, it'd probably be like a sickening amount by the end.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was quite irreplaceable, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And once you're attached to like a franchise with so many entries, you get more and more valuable as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with so many entries, it's way more than a trilogy.
Who was that one guy in Harry Potter who got replaced because he was like selling drugs?
Oh, wasn't it like one of Malfoy's?
Slytherin. Yeah, he was a Slytherin.
Crabbe and Goyle. It was one of them. He was
Yeah.
like a drug dealer. Where he got done or something.
Yeah, why would you be... Like, surely he was getting money.
I don't know, because it's quite a small role. I don't know if he would have been getting the biggest bag for that.
But a small role from the age of, like, 10.
Yeah.
In Harry Potter.
Yeah, speaking like lines.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't
You would've
enough.
thought.
I mean, actually no, I don't think Tim Allen was actually in Hollywood yet.
When he was...
His coke running.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
I want to get that buzz on.
Epic PLQNJ says the guy who put the cast on for his Office is absolutely wild. I've been with my partner for 7 years, nearly as long as I've been watching, and I can't even show her this show. Not Safe for Work doesn't begin to describe the layers of absurdity. May it be a warning to you, bro. And may it be a warning.
I think that's brutal.
To us, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
What?
No.
You think he's right?
No.
Yes.
No. Don't you just have anything in your life that's just for you?
Well, yeah.
Your own thing.
Yeah.
Your own thingy that you don't need to describe to anyone. You don't need to explain yourself.
But yeah, not everything needs sharing, but I don't think you should be like hiding in the bathroom listening to this.
No, but I'm just saying, take it as a warning for in a social situation, if someone's like, let's put something on for the group,
Well, yeah.
and you don't really know them that well, might be an idea to put on the weekend or something.
What if it's Wednesday?
That's the best day to do it, right?
Okay.
Don't all of his songs include Wednesday?
Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And I'll end this segment on this one from Cohen Bezeg. I swear I remember you guys discussing the fact Bin Laden had Charlie Bit My Finger on his laptop a few years ago. Maybe?
I'm sure he did. He had some big SSDs or some shit.
I'm sure it was somewhere in the compound. All the classics, Crazy Frog. That animated bird that like...
Oh my god.
Remember that Tweety bird? No, it's not Tweety bird, but you know what I'm saying. It's a bird that tweets and sings or something. I don't know.
The
Gummy
one that
bear?
sings whatever you want. Yeah, Gummy Bear, for sure.
Yeah, Gummy Bear.
Yeah,
Numa Numa. Yeah.
The thing is, if he had Chicken Little, then the bets are off.
The depravity he was already playing in.
Yeah, the floodgates are open.
Yeah,
Look,
that slop he was slopping around in was
he would have
already
anything
dire.
if he's got that. 100%. Yeah. Well, fair play to the lad.
So I found out the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I found out the actual coolest thing ever.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Do you know what it takes to be a Raven Master?
No.
A real job in the UK.
Yeah.
Completely real. Like a highly respected, like you need to be in the army for like decades to even have a chance at applying for.
Really?
Type role. Yeah.
You have to have killed people.
Yeah. The Raven Master is brutal. And real.
People are immediately going to assume that it's not real. But it actually is.
Because like I don't something has happened to me where like I found something about British history kind of like lame. If I'm being real, you know, kings and queens and funny outfits and wigs and silliness. Nah, it just didn't. Something about it didn't tickle me.
Yeah.
But the last couple of weeks, just something's changed. Something's shifted within me, and now it's the coolest. British history is like the most fascinating thing in my mind.
It's pretty bonkers.
Yeah, well, it's just straight up like, it's just Game of Thrones. Like,
Well, Game of Thrones was literally based on British
exactly,
history.
yeah.
Yeah. They were just being wild.
Yeah.
But explain this Raven thing, because like you've been dropping this Raven thing into like every conversation I've had with you. And I'm like, what?
Right, listen, I found out about this job, the Raven Master.
Yeah.
Famously, I've never been, you've never been, live in the Tower of London. One of the most famous buildings in London.
Yeah. Which I can't picture right now.
But the Tower Ravens, nobody knows when ravens first came to the Tower of London, but they've been associated with the tower for centuries. Legend dictates that if the ravens ever leave, the tower will fall and the kingdom will fail. So Charles II decreed that there must always be at least 6 ravens at the tower. That tradition has been honoured for more than 300 years.
Wow.
That's cool.
What do you think they based that on?
There is, if you're interested, there's a huge Wikipedia article that goes like into where the
Raven
myth,
lore.
Yeah, Raven lore, like myth, like that's even earlier than that of like where these kind of concepts come from. There's like a difficult to say term of like the type of history it is or something. But I'm a novice to this realm, so I can't really delve much deeper than that.
So what does the Raven Master do? Does he
feeds them, looks after them, secures them,
so like they don't want to leave?
Yeah.
Is that part of the rules? Like
they are not allowed to leave.
They're not allowed to leave, so he is to keep them in there.
Mm-hmm. They have a wing clipped, so they can't fly further than a certain distance. So they can like fly up to things and get down off things.
That's a bit unfair.
But how long do you think a raven in the wild lives?
I don't know. 5 years?
In the wild, they live from around 10 to 15 years.
Oh, wow.
In the wild.
Okay.
But with the help of humans, they can live to 45, 50 years.
What?
Yeah. I think the oldest one of the... Because the crown jewels are also there. The oldest one of the...
So the ravens defend.
Yeah. But I think the oldest one of the ravens there got to is like 43 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess that's the trade-off of the clipped wing is you get the... They are royal. They go through like all the like process and everything. Look, there's more to read. Look.
Every individual raven.
Look, it will make sense once I read some of this. There was a section on World War II specifically in these ravens. The first reference to an early version of the legend that Britain will fall if the ravens leave the tower comes from July 1944, when ravens were used as unofficial spotters for enemy bombs and planes during the Blitz in World War II. During the Blitz, all but 3 of the ravens died from either bombing or stress. The survivors were Grip, his mate Mabel, and another raven named Pauline. Mabel and Grip soon disappeared, however. After this, Churchill, then Prime Minister, ordered more ravens to bring the flock back to the correct size. The tower ravens are enlisted as soldiers of the kingdom and were issued attestation cards in the same way as soldiers and police. As with soldiers, they can be dismissed for conduct prejudicial to good order and discipline. While visiting the tower in 2003, Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, is reported to have been taken aback by the verbal skills of one of the birds. Thor greeted each person in his entourage with a good morning.
What?
Yeah, they can mimic. They're like parrots. They're
Ravens?
yeah. Corvids can do that. I think crows can do it too.
Oh, this is getting really creepy now.
No, there's more. There's even more to it. Raven Stories has like a section. Londoners tend to be fond of the ravens, but sometimes an individual bird will fall out of favour because of inappropriate behaviour. For example, Raven George lost his appointment to the Crown and was retired to Wales for attacking and destroying TV aerials. A special decree was issued about the incident. On Saturday the 13th of December 1989, Raven George, enlisted 1975, was posted to the Welsh Mountain Zoo. Conduct unsatisfactory. Service therefore no longer required.
Ooh.
I love how like official it is.
Yeah.
In 1996, 2 more ravens fell out of favour and were dismissed from the tower for conduct unbecoming tower residents. Drama. I wonder if they got like a Raven HR department to do with this. Despite having their flight feathers clipped on one wing, sometimes the tower ravens desert their duties. In 1981, Grog the Raven decided to leave the surroundings of the tower for those of a pub. After 21 years of faithful service to the crown. In contrast, a raven named...
He was called Grog.
He was called Grog.
And he left to go to the pub. Let's go.
A legend raven.
Yeah.
In contrast, a raven named Mabel was kidnapped from the tower soon after World War II, a mystery that has never been solved. Another story concerns the 2 ravens named James Crow and Edgar Sopper. James Crow, who was a much-loved and long-lived raven, had died. After noticing the commotion surrounding the other raven's death, Edgar Sopper decided he could play dead in order to bring more attention to himself. His trick was so convincing that the Raven Master fully believed that Edgar Sopper had died. When the Raven Master picked up the corpse, Edgar bit the man's finger and flapped off, croaking huge raven laughs. Likewise, Merlin has since been known for eliciting a commotion from visitors by occasionally playing dead. Bro. But it doesn't even end there, it gets crazier.
These ravens are up to no good.
In 1990, a chaplain named Norman Hood died in his chamber on the tower grounds. Former assistant Raven Master Tom Trent has reported that the ravens appeared to be aware of the death, for they soon gathered on the tower green near the chapel, called out, and then became quiet, as though to pay their respects. Corvids have been widely reported to hold funerals in which they mourn and then cluster around a dead bird in silence.
Dude.
Dinosaurs descended from these...
Yeah.
Or the other way around, sorry. They descended from dinosaurs.
There were definitely dinosaur societies.
Do you think so?
Definitely.
Doesn't that make them
They had
so much scarier?
They had dinosaur buildings and stuff.
Where do you even begin, like, picking this apart? Like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I mean, I always knew corvids were, like, special.
They got something behind those eyes. They do. People underestimate them. I don't like how people treat them.
Yeah.
See them as like filth or a pest.
I guess they're a pest to like farmers and stuff, hence scarecrows. But yeah, those birds be thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Laterally.
They be problem solving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They think in all manner of ways, and hearing that about funerals.
Yeah. Well, you know, elephants do that. Like, a bunch of animals do have that behavior. We just always assume we're above, and we're just so much more complex.
Yeah.
But they just...
Everything I hear about, like, every species, it kind of just boils down to, like, we ain't shit, you know?
Well, like, we're at least on the same level. Like, we shouldn't see ourselves as above.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we ain't shit is doing them dirty, because they are.
Just because they, like, express They've just evolved to do a different thing. you
Yeah.
know? And they're really good at that thing. And just because we can't communicate that same thing.
And ravens are really good at talking to Russians.
True. You know, they're big too, ravens.
Yeah, they are big birds.
They're enormous.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one. But now I'm like, I kind of want to go.
They're all over the place.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have seen one.
I often mistake ravens for crows.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn all the corvids.
Yeah.
So it's like millions.
I think ravens have a less scary sound.
Then crows.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what a raven like call even is, so
Yeah, neither do I.
yeah.
I don't know anything about ravens apart from this.
Well, clearly I need to know more because this is hype.
Is this a job you would strive for?
If I didn't
let's
have to
say-
do all the bit before,
Had you known from like a younger age,
Mm.
and it would give you like a life goal? Do you think
Yeah.
you would have aimed for this?
there is a big problem with being the Raven Master, though.
Mm-hmm.
You got to wear the dumbest looking outfit you've ever seen.
Oh, I assumed it was going to be badass. Like that.
That's what you picture,
Do you
right?
remember that show Raven?
Yeah, if it looked like that, then
That guy.
yes.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find you a picture.
That'd
I
be
think
fire.
they're run by the Beef Eaters.
What, the gin?
No, the gin is named after the people.
How
They're
did they get
named that
name?
because they were like paid in beef.
Oh, okay. I don't mind paying beef if I can.
Yeah. Why does this always happen? That like I gotta go on Chrome, but there's like it's just decided to update Chrome right now.
It's like fake news. It's trying to.
It doesn't want you to see the Raven Master.
Yeah. I feel like this is something that that every British person should know. How?
Yeah.
I bet you there are people that travel from the other side of the world to see these ravens.
Well, they literally do. When our uncle
Yeah.
from Australia came here, they went to see the jewels.
Really?
Which were
Oh, the jewels, yeah.
but they're in the tower where the ravens are.
Were they like, oh, there's a lot of ravens around?
Yeah, I just didn't. It just wasn't interesting to me for some
See,
reason.
Why would you come up with the concept of like, oh, if there's less than this many birds in this place, we're fucked? Why would you come up with that? Like, I feel like you're asking for it.
It's kind of like a myth. But there's also this like ceremony and dedication attached to it as well. Like it's taken really seriously. Highly trained military people are attached to it. There's all this like legality attached to it and like due process. I don't know. There is something like cool. There is something undeniably extremely cool about that.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been cooler way back when.
I think it's cooler now. The older it is, the cooler it is to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's an element of goof to it as well.
Well, yeah, especially when that's what you got to wear.
Oh. Oh my goodness. See, wearing that though, back in the day, people would be like, "Phew,
Yeah.
let me get some of that."
Mm-hmm.
You know? I wish I was that guy.
But yeah, the hat is too much. It's kind of like a top hat. Kind of look like a steampunk cosplayer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the black and the red, like redesign it. Let's modernize this, you know.
Or make it look older. See, I was picturing like a plague doctor type, like
Ooh, yeah.
have like raven feathers as like a cloak, you know, like a gothic kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe keep the hat, just make it taller,
Yeah.
skinnier. You know, give him a cane
Yeah.
with a blade in it.
People used to call James Crow. It was supposed to be an insult, but that's just kind of a cool nickname to me. Crow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, they're awesome birds.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you after these cacaws. Caw! Caw! Caw, blimey!
Yeah. Cool, blimey. Is that where that comes from?
Bye, Bear Bear. Bye, Bear Bear.
I do declare, bye, Bear Bear.
Bear shirts and mug available now. Check the description below.
Welcome back to the second half of the Jar Jar. This is where we go over to the Jaredia.
We haven't done the Jar Jar in so long.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure some of those are outdated. But this is the section of the show where we go over to Reddit at r/jarmedia, where people put questions and we go, huh?
We look for the vein and we find the Redditors and we just...
Yep.
You know? Redditors, come out of the woodwork, will you?
I'm having to sit like some sort of
Billy? Let's get this going then. With this one from Schmat779. Gamers, hello, I have a question. With the topic of Mad Max being relevant again, how would each one of you customize your war rig? How would you make it deadly? How do you use old world parts to make it something new? What would be its general theme? Thanks. The Dairyland Jarling.
Dairy?
I've already got mine.
The milk Jarling.
I'm thinking about like the solar panel electric car like squad. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's a deterrent of its own, because like nobody would go for you. You've got no resource. You've got no gas to take.
True.
You can only move like
when
10
you're on the
meters
panels
and then stop.
Wait
24 hours and then another 10 meters.
I feel like you could do some funny stuff.
It would have to be very lightweight if you wanted it to like...
I'm picturing like the frame of a car with like almost wings of solar panels that like power them. We need to get inventive, you know?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea. So my head immediately goes to more like classic Mad Max stuff, but... Is this also Mad Max in the UK or Mad Max...
I'm thinking in Australia.
Okay.
Because it's like a desert, it's like constantly sunny.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense.
What about weaponry?
They'd have to be like electricity based, I feel like. You know, it's all about like batteries and charging and solar power.
So like tasers.
Maybe like...
like cattle prods.
Yeah, rechargeable cattle prods.
Yeah.
What's your gimmick? You could be an offshoot of one of the already existing ones. Your own niche.
I'm trying to think what you can use that's just around. Because I feel like Mad Max doesn't really use modern stuff. It's still like if the world ended in the 80s.
Yeah, true. Have they done anything with like bigger vehicles, like trains, buses?
There is a train, if I'm remembering correctly, in Thunderdome.
Oh, really? That's the one I haven't seen, so...
See, taking the British element, double-decker bus.
A double-decker.
Get that thing rigged up. Get for those who haven't been in a double-decker bus, like you could really kit one out. Like for an apocalypse, you could have like mounted machine guns.
Yeah.
You could really get creative with that.
It would almost be like a battlement thing, like a
moving forward operating base.
Okay.
Have a few spikes on there, a few solar panels, if you will.
I feel like that's interesting. I don't think I care about Mad Max if it's not in Australia. I think for me to care, it has to be in Australia.
It legit doesn't work anywhere else.
Yeah. It's so, like, ingrained in its identity.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the apocalypse outside of it. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
I mean, what can you even do with, other than, like, the 28 Days Later style of post-apocalyptic Britain? There's really not much you can do with...
Yeah, because what makes Australia so interesting is how uninhabitable most of it is.
Yeah. So it's already kind of post-apocalyptic, or pre, like it's just forever apocalypse.
But why is it like there are deserts in plenty of places in the world? Why is it specifically Australia? It's the accent, it's like the energy.
Yeah, I think energy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a double-decker bus would be sick. You could get like motorbikes in there.
Like
Yeah.
motorbikes that like come out of a double-decker bus somehow or something, yeah.
Yeah, or on top with like ramps, you ramp off the front.
Like minis that drive out the back of a double-decker.
Yeah. Get really British
Like,
with it.
yeah. Like, suicide bomber minis or something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like crossbows that shoot stale scones.
Yeah.
You know, concussive, non-lethal.
The scone farms that would be powering all the British offshoots.
Yeah.
There could be like, how about like a little British enclave that just somehow is in Australia, you know?
Yeah, some British tourists.
It's like a British museum, because of course Australia being
Yeah.
part of the empire or whatever.
Yeah, could use muskets and stuff.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure there are muskets in Fury Road. There's the part where Max shoots someone with a musket that's like part loaded with the stick in it. Because you gotta like jam.
Yeah.
and he blasts.
I think it's time I rewatch that movie. I think it's calling for me.
Dude, it's so fire. The thing is, you can't get more creative than George Miller with it. Like,
It's his thing. It's his baby. It's his world.
The little subtlety I love from Fury Road. His like, what do you call it? His muzzle.
Yeah.
That like a dog has.
When
but
he's, like,
it's
captured.
It's made out of a trowel.
Yeah.
And, like, just that tiny detail is like
Something recognizable, like
Yeah.
fixed in something new.
and I wouldn't have noticed it had it not been pointed out.
But like
once-
everything in that world is like that.
Yeah.
It all follows that rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's extremely cool.
You'd have to sit down and just like really hash out these ideas, which I'm sure they do.
Speaking of hashing out ideas, Pill on Face says, why does Alex screenshot the questions instead of just going on the question thread? Do you know the answer to this? Do you know why
To get good ones?
I like reading them first in some form, so I have some idea.
Yeah.
And having a selection that like I've filtered once already. People, I think I've mentioned it before, I like OCD, like store them, the unused ones.
Yeah.
So I've got like, does it say how many pages? I've got like hundreds of pages basically of like unused questions, just like every now and again, like if there's a week with the thread like sucks or something, I can just pluck a couple from that I've been saving. That's the main reason. It's just for saving them, so I don't have to constantly be going to different threads and whatnot. Yeah, nothing too deep on that one. Let's do this one from Gremmy Jame. Hingle-eyed low. Hello. Judge boys, to expand upon something from last episode, I've just started working in a good old British pub with some good old British boys, and coincidentally I was probed for my thoughts on national service by a miserable old bag. It went something like this, from my recollection. I go up to this guy and his missus, the old ball and chain, to take their plates. He asked me if I think joining the national service would teach me how to stand up straight. He went on to say that this generation is filled with a bunch of bloody wets. When he started implying I was a wet, all I could do was laugh and walk away mumbling sweet nothings of agreement with him. This guy had an empty stare that looked as if he'd been sure of himself for his whole life. His features simple and round reminded me of a potato smiler. His cheeks... I thought that was really fucking funny. His cheeks slightly reddened in the face of comfort. I see flaws in the logic of these people. They say the country will never be what it once was. I assume this means that there is nothing worth fighting for. That if there was something to fight for, we would be misguided. What is the goal? That we should be led astray, blindly doing what we can for the betterment of something already misaligned. I personally am ashamed of many things about Britain. I don't think national service is a satisfactory answer to anything or anyone, but bitter, elderly people thoughts. Yours, Gremmy Jame. P.S. Thoughts on pearly penile papules.
Jesus, Grammy.
That's a lot there, huh?
Yeah. So what are our thoughts on national service?
On penile papules.
Yeah, I mean, some people got them, some people don't, I guess.
That level of like, this generation is filled with a bunch of bloody wets.
Yeah, the generation before them would have said the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, isn't that just part of the course? Like, any generation following the ones fighting in World War II.
Yeah. But I bet, like, even the...
Like, how do you follow that up?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do?
Well, you want us to get in a world war?
Yeah.
That's the only way to prove yourself as, like, a valuable member of society, is to, like, put your life on the line for your country?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's fight, then.
Yeah. Let's go die in a muddy hole for people
Let's
who
get tricked
don't
into
see
a
us as
trench.
humans. Yeah.
I think things have changed now, though. I feel like there would be more pushback if, like, a bunch of different countries tried to instill this.
I think it depends.
Obviously, it depends on, like, the circumstance of the world. If there might be an event that actually requires it, like,
I don't think there'd be that much pushback if people started being conscripted into going to Ukraine.
You think so?
Yeah, I think people would see that as a just cause.
Yeah.
I think if they started taking on, like, 13-year-olds again, then people might say something. Like, you know what you're doing, you cheeky generals.
Lying about your age and all that.
Yeah. But, like, national service, I can see it giving... Like, to be perfectly honest, it could have been good for me. To get some sort of direction and, like...
Discipline is, I think, a very good skill you pick up from the military.
And it gives you the option, once you do the allotted time, you can either stay in it or go and do
So you're
what
all
you
for
want
it
to.
now? You want it?
I don't want
like
it.
Norway,
I mean, it doesn't
like...
affect me. So
that's kind of the key of why it bugs me, where it's like the people with the strongest opinions are the ones it doesn't affect. So, like, of course, you got nothing on the line. So, like,
yeah, but it's not like you get brought in and then just sent somewhere to go and die.
Yeah, of course.
It's not quite like that. And I'm pretty sure the option is there. Like, it's either you join the military or do some sort of community service. Which, again...
Or, like, pay a fine or something. You can, like, pay...
Oh, so rich people... It doesn't affect rich people, right. Yeah, I'm not entirely in agreement with that. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
Well, I guess we're struggling in this country right now with trying to find, like, a binding agent for, like, everyone. We feel, like, so, like, disparate.
Yeah.
And, like, we're so, like, splintered. I guess that's what he's trying to sell with it, but it's, like, the wrong time. Mm-hmm. No one believes it. And, like...
Also, like, the infrastructure isn't there to implement it straight away. Like, if you're going to take literally every person turning 18 and put them into the military, like, we're not equipped for that.
Right. Yeah.
And
it's like a desperate attempt to try and address these numbers of, like, no one signing up.
Yeah. But, you know, you reap what you sow.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there is something to not feeling like your country has always done the right thing. Like the last war we were in, being Iraq and stuff, we engaged with all of...
Like, who is for that now, in, like, retrospect?
Yeah.
You know?
Because we were lied to.
Yeah.
They straight-faced lied to us.
Straight up, yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't really leave you thinking, you know what?
It doesn't give you trust. And yeah.
But I don't know, let the people who it's going to affect decide,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
I guess on kind of a similar note, Simple Zucchini 44. Have the Jar Boys ever had any sort of desire or plans to leave the UK? Whether it be for study or work or even jumping ship, so to speak. If not, what might cause you to GTFO? If the Tories won this election, maybe I'd consider it.
I'd never say something quite like that. Like the people who were saying, like, right, time to move to Canada now that Trump is in. None of them did. Don't lie. I'd like to. It was always like my plan in my head to go and live in New Zealand purely because, like, I can.
Yeah.
You know?
My dream was chase summer, because of course it's inverse in New Zealand.
Right,
so I have 6 months in New Zealand, 6 months here. So then you never have to have a winter. That was kind of the only time I've really thought about that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But
it's a shame it's just so far and expensive.
That's the thing. It's the price. Like, it's quite hard to move to a place so far away.
It's more than quite hard. It's extremely hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
But saying that, like, our parents did when it was much harder. So
And we were babies.
yeah. There's that, and before then, like, you couldn't communicate with your family every weekend.
Mm.
There'd be letters in the post.
Yeah. There's no social
Physical
media.
letter around the world.
The only time I've like really thought about it is in terms of just wishing for more sun.
Yeah.
I feel like that really does affect the overall mood of a country, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're in Italy or Spain or whatever, there's just this sort of feeling about it, you know? More of a carefree type thing, whereas I feel like there's a stuffiness, like, oh, here we go, sort of like feeling in the UK that's like directly linked to that lack of vitamin D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would I fight for a country that rains all the time?
It's only getting rainier.
Yeah. But as far as, like, escaping, I don't think there's anything that could realistically happen to make me be like, right, it's time to pack the bags. I need to get out.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing ever.
What? Like if they were like, well, the nuke's been launched.
What if
it's coming to London?
What if like it was a hypothetical dictatorship where they were like, everyone called Jamie, we're gonna bloody go for it.
Well, that's why I said nothing that realistically could happen. I can't really see
Crazier things have happened, bro. We were just talking about the Raven Master.
Yeah.
The Raven Master decides that all Jamies have got to go. He sends the ravens after all the Jamies.
That would be terrifying.
And you've got to like get out of the country.
Yeah, well, maybe then. But how would I go? You know? I feel like I'd be picked up by a raven on
You got to get to
security at
France.
the airport.
You know?
Yeah, I'd have to boat over.
Swim there like David Walliams or whatever.
Yeah, I'm no David Wally.
Swim to France and start your new journey running from the ravens.
But they'll be able to fly faster. Unless they got
You
their
got
wings
skills,
split.
you know? You got like abilities to hide from them.
Like what? How do you hide from a raven?
Cloaks and daggers, I'd say.
Yeah, smoke and mirrors.
Funny Fart 89 says, I'm simply here to inform you of something important.
Okay.
You keep pronouncing the jazz artist Miles Davis as Miles Davies. I teach music, it's very much Miles Davis, like Dave-is, not Davies. Be cultured and goon on. Sorry.
I like Miles Davies.
Yeah, I like Miles Davies.
Davies.
Davidies. Miles Davidies.
Miles Davidies.
Miles Davidies.
Yeah. You know, his classic tracks such as Another One.
Mr. Blue Pumpkin says this. Thoughts on the recent Xbox showcase, and specifically Gears of War. I actually quite like the direction Gears 5 was going, but I can see why they did a prequel for the OG characters. Still, it's a shame we won't be getting a continuation of the narrative for a good long while now, although going back to the bleak art style of the original was a massive plus.
Agreed. 100%.
I thought, I looked at all the announcements. Sorry, you say what you were saying.
In terms of the Xbox showcase, I've seen nothing else. and I don't care to. Fuck Xbox.
As far as a showcase, it was pretty decent actually. As far as like what they revealed, and like Doom looked really good, and Gears of War. The only one I really cared about was Doom and Gears though.
Yeah, Gears looks sick. I love the
Mad World.
Yeah,
Bringing that guy back. The tone, it's like sad and miserable and grey.
Yeah, but you know the game's gonna be goofier. Like,
No, I was really thinking about this the other day, and I guess it's been on my mind because of this trailer. How underappreciated Gears of War is for a start. How sort of ahead of its time, and just how good it is.
yeah,
Like, why is Gears of War so good? What is the deal? That tone, it's one of my favorite tones.
yeah,
When you can have the goofy giant worm 1 second, and then the saddest death scene you've ever seen. It's like, and it somehow works. It's like heartfelt and genuine. Like there's something real about it.
yeah. I think part of it is actual. What do they call it? Focus
testing.
I think it's focus testing done right.
For which? What do you mean?
For Gears, like that's how they struck it. Because I know for a fact, I assume you're talking about the Maria death scene. Spoilers.
I was actually talking about the 1 in 3.
Oh, okay. No, because the giant worm is in 2. But some people, I think most people maybe even, think Maria's death scene is like they didn't do it right, you know?
Like it
Because
came out of left field. Like
like
tonally is weird against the.
But I think it for me, I don't know if it's just the age. Like Gears of War, ironically, is like nostalgia for a lot of people. It was a lot of people's childhoods where they're chainsawing people in half.
No, because it has this. That's what I love about it. It has this reputation as this like bro-y shooter. When actually, if you really analyzed it, you could like, if it came out now, you could make the case that it's like woke or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Like look how diverse the cast is. 3 had like 2 female characters in protagonist positions. But like no one cared. Like it wasn't even like a discussion.
100%. But it's got like a weirdly good plot.
I think it's the characters,
dude,
and the performances.
When I like Dom has nothing really. His character
in the first game.
In the first game,
he has nothing in the first game,
and then the second game, his only thing is like, I wonder where my wife is.
Yeah,
that's his whole character.
But that gives him a big thing.
Yeah, and then but suddenly when she like crops up, it's like, oh shit. And then that
scene
actor,
rocks, bro.
What when
that's it? Like I rewatched it the other day.
The Maria scene.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like the acting, like
and even the dialogue where he's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do, man. And you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, they really fucking sell it. And also like the scene you were saying when Dom goes, again, spoilers. And
the fact it's tied though to the scene in 2 though.
Yeah. And he like looks up and he's like, you didn't see it ending like this, huh, Maria?
Yeah. Then the Mad World theme.
Yeah,
and then the close up on Dom. No.
Yeah, but the way he delivers it.
Yeah.
He sells that shit.
No, because I watched that scene again too. It's him. That scene's in my rotation, like Braithwaite Manor, and just like all these things I love.
It sends shivers down my spine now. Thinking about it. Like, how did they do that? And then the next chapter, you meet Ice-T.
That is what rocks about. That's exactly what is so sick about Gears of War. That.
Yeah.
And the fact that works, and
the
that's
juggling of tones. It's
it's so sincere.
Yeah, I never really gave it the credit it deserved until Gears 5. I think
and 4 especially.
Gears 4 pissed me off, but Gears 5 I was like, oh, yeah, this is actually like effective, and it's reminding me of the bits from the original Gears that were even better. So I think Gears 5 is really good.
Yeah,
It's a
I
good
think there are
idea.
even parts of 4 that are decent.
I think gameplay-wise, yeah. But, like, I
It's
hated
not a Halo
JD.
thing in my mind.
No.
Oh, yeah,
Not at all.
JD was a bad character.
JD really annoyed me. But then the stuff they do with him in 5...
Yeah,
I
they
was
made him
like,
awesome.
This is really sick.
Uh-huh.
Suddenly you turn this character I hated and was like... I was like seeing through him and just seeing like Ryan Reynolds or something. And
It was that kind of it was like they really like Force Awakened that like
Yeah, they were forcing the humor and like the group dynamic, whereas in the first game there's an established relationship there, but you grow to like these characters naturally, whereas they were trying to force it with 4.
yeah.
But then in 5 they intentionally make you dislike characters you were meant to like, and then let you develop.
They give them flaws, yeah.
Yeah.
Kate as well was like really improved. She was like nothing in 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a really decent campaign. It was well made, but Rod Ferguson has left, who's the fellow who kind of fixed BioShock Infinite and made it releasable.
Right.
He worked with Cliffy B on the original 3. He was like side by side with Cliffy B. He directed, I think, he was at least there for 5, I think.
Right.
I think he actually worked at 343 for a bit as well. He's jumped all around Microsoft, I think. But he's gone now, and I think they made the right decision, especially with this weird like choice thing that was at the end of Gears 5. That was one of the weirder things that probably shouldn't have been there. It's quite annoying.
It depends what they do.
'Cause you're just going to have to pick a canon one anyway.
Yeah, and it limits the scope of the sequel. It's kind of like the... I was thinking about the Walking Dead games the other day.
Oh yeah, the Telltale ones.
Yeah, and how you make all these branching choices, but then when that one ends and the next one starts, they have to remove it so much.
Yeah.
And then it can only be referenced. It can't be integrated. It can't.
It's too
lead
like
into a different
complicated.
story.
Yeah.
Same problem with Mass Effect and everything like that. So maybe either.
So why even do the choice? I guess is my thing
Again,
with that.
spoilers for 5. Skip ahead a few minutes, but like, are they gonna have which character you let survive follow you through the rest of the game?
I just can't
it?
see them doing that. I think they're just going to pivot, to be honest, and kind of do something a bit different.
Yeah,
that's why I think this was the correct move. It's kind of to me, it's kind of like an equivalent Halo Reach type event for like that universe, Emergence Day. It's like when it began.
Mm-hmm.
There is the member berry side of it, but it's like I want these characters. They're my favorite ones.
Seeing Dom was like,
the way it's like timed in the trailer with the music and everything. It's like totally manipulating you, but like
hell yeah.
I love it. Yeah,
but it should. Like the Gears 1 trailer was manipulative.
Yeah.
Because like I'm sure a lot of people felt the whiplash.
And like I never felt that for 4 or 5. You know, with that cringy like Billie Eilish Gears 5 adverts. It's like, oh my god, fuck off.
If anything, that set the expectations so low that I was like you're using the Despicable Me music. You know?
Yeah, it was tonally more what you'd want. Yeah, I dug that. I just love Gears of War, man.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've got a lot of love for
and 5 was good. Hivebuster thing was really good. That's the last thing they released to do with Gears. So like, I don't feel about Gears like I do about Halo. Where,
not at all, not one bit.
It's kind of stayed what it is more than Halo has, you know?
It didn't feel the need to like
just reinvent the wheel.
Well, it didn't feel like it was made by people that hate the source.
The difference that makes is wild.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I know.
If people care about the franchise that they're like,
they're tasked to work on.
Yeah.
Right, bro. I got one more I want to end on here. I put it at the end for a reason. Fat Farter 69. What are the boys' thoughts on the current state of politics here in the UK? We've got an election coming up, and it's never been clearer to me that we're absolutely fucked regardless of the outcome. Thanks for the good work, gentlemen. Keep it up. Game on. So yeah, put this at the end, so if you're not interested in this sort of thing, you can just turn it off.
I don't know. I feel very
It's weird.
I feel uneducated. I don't think the way Britain does politics is very good. At least in
As far as like what? Like
in parties expressing their intentions, and at least for someone of my very specific circumstances who doesn't
like, you mean getting the info they're
messages.
saying, getting it to you
yeah,
without knowing where to look. Yeah.
because of the way algorithms work on social media, you get shown more of what you respond to.
Yeah.
So there's that works in the sense of it can be something I agree with, but I'm less likely to stick around and watch a video I already know I'm going to be aligned with, like a Labour video,
Right.
than hearing the opinions of what's Farage's party? Reform.
Reform, yeah.
Reform UK. I've been getting a lot of Reform UK stuff
Mm-hmm.
because I want to hear the points that I disagree with, so I understand, and conservative stuff. But no one is on the side of conservatives. I think Reform UK is gonna do really well.
I think they're going to do scarily well.
Yeah, which really saddens me.
But I'm more frightened for what that means in 4 years' time. That's my fear. Because
yeah.
I think no one's going to be surprised by what happens. Labour's going to win. But they've got to be, I really hope they're thinking now for then, because that's going to be really bad. My fear is that, they'll get in. 4 years is not enough time to undo 15 years of damage. People will just continue to be frustrated. When people are that level of disenfranchised, they always do the same thing. Go far right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm scared of.
I think Starmer, when he gets in, needs to be really honest and set people up for
realistic expectations.
Yeah.
People don't like that, though. They like hearing, we're going to solve all of it. We've got the answers.
If he gets up there and he says, right, in 4 years, this is all going to be sorted, and then 4 years comes by, everyone's going to be pissed. You know, I think if he can, in an uplifting way, get across the point that like we're on the recovery path,
right,
then we might be okay. But so much of politics is just optics.
Yeah.
This is something I never realised when I was younger. Because no matter how you feel about Rishi Sunak and the Conservatives' manifesto and everything they stand for and what they want to implement, the damage of him leaving the D-Day memorial early matters more than what the values of the party actually are. It's the optics.
Just like how much it matters to the average person that they want to have a pint with Nigel Farage because they think he's a lad.
Even if he reeks of strawberry milkshake.
I find that hard to relate to because I just do not think that way, and I do not.
Well, yeah, to be honest, if I was going to have a drink with any of them, it would probably be easiest with Rishi, because I think he's just as socially inept as me.
Oh, it's sad, bro. All this stuff with him, these interviews with him. It's desperate.
Man wants out.
Man wants out. He looks defeated.
Yeah.
You know, he's got these bags under his eyes. He's hanging on by a thread. He knows it's over, but he's still showing up anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say hats off to him for even stepping up to the plate in the first place. Because, like...
Nah.
Well, yeah, exactly. I would say, but I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that guy.
Uh-huh. I'm embarrassed that he's the leader of the country. Yeah, I'm actively embarrassed.
I wish
and ashamed.
I wish the Lib Dems had more of a voice.
That's one positive I've seen is that, like, at least locally, I've never seen the kind of...
They are demolishing. You
Yeah.
only have to look around.
We're just seeing...
There's some environmental storytelling.
There is amazing environmental storytelling right now. It is active.
Yeah. Big time.
Signs everywhere. Yeah, yeah.
Nothing conservative.
Uh-huh.
Nothing Labour. All Lib Dem. One Reform. Like, which is sad to me. Looking beyond just our county.
Uh-huh.
Lib Dems don't have a voice.
No.
I've seen nothing from them. I've seen heaps from Reform, more than I have Labour, more than I have Conservative.
Mm-hmm.
So it purely from a social media perspective, that is scary to me because
The right is too good at, like, meme strategy marketing.
yeah, and
It's
if you
crazy.
look back at Brexit, that whole thing was swung by Farage.
Yeah, yeah.
He's kind of a Bond villain.
Mm.
He's been in the background for a long time.
Yeah.
And
I also realise he's got the bloody voice. You know, the...
yeah, he does.
Well, I'm the bloody one. Let's go get a pint and just...
Let's go get some butter beer.
Come on, Grint, let's go get a butter beer.
Come on, Harry and Ron.
Yeah, it's kind of sucks how politically powerful it is to just kind of be funny or have charisma.
Yeah,
it's actually
or be wacky. Like
it's insane.
Yeah, for Boris it worked. It works for Farage.
Yeah,
I think it's why Labour struggle because they're normally quite reasonable.
They're like sort of dry.
Yeah, they're boring. Because,
plain.
Yeah,
they're not exciting enough. They're not like spicy enough.
Mm.
But then I find the opposite. So like Boris is frightening to me, like really, like scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like putting that much thought into like having your makeup artist like mess your hair up. So because you know the image that projects appeals in a certain way to certain people.
It's much more manipulative.
Yeah.
Like
whereas when Trump goes up, I feel like I'm just looking at Trump and there's like there's not this like intent to this like projection.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Boris, it's something
posturing.
scary. Yeah, yeah.
It's like Rishi has been trying to say recently that he's just an ordinary fella.
I didn't even have Sky News growing up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I eat Twixes and Haribos like an old champ.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't need to pretend. I know all of you up there don't know what it is to be like a human being.
Yeah.
Like, you're all living in this fantasy land. But be honest about it.
Yeah.
Say, like, I'm grateful that I never had to, like, struggle through these same things. I had my own adjacent struggles. Let's talk about what we need to do to bring people up. Instead of being like, I'm down there in the dirt with all of you.
In the slop.
It's fucking rude. It's like...
everyone sees through it as well.
Yeah. So why even
like,
bother?
it worked with Boris. Like, people didn't see through
Yeah, because he
that.
looks like a fat pig. Like, I believe that he rolls around in film.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
he is, yeah. He is like the Animal Farm pigs, like Boris.
yeah,
like
yeah.
Evil type.
Yeah,
like,
he's got the decadent slime.
Yeah, I think this is all like when you strip away the sadness of like this is dictating like how much it costs people's like bills, and how much that affects people's lives and how miserable that has made so many people. The comedy of this string of what's happened here is like just you can't even make it up. It's so absurd. The lettuce prime minister and he was in for 30 days and it's just mad.
It is.
And I was thinking about this. My entire adult life, my entire voting life has been this. Literally the entire thing.
Yeah, we've had no say.
Yeah. But this is what like we're inheriting as a society.
Yeah.
This is like the bed that has been made for us. Thanks. Nice one, man. Nice future planning. Sucks about humans that we're so shit at that.
And I hate that even calling an election is a tactical play.
Like when they do
it's
it,
not
why
about,
they do it.
It's not about let's do this when it's best for people. It's let's do this when it's best for our party.
The party, yeah.
It's not about the country. And that's fucking disgusting. at least, like, looking at America, that's a fucking shit show, but I kind of believe, even how warped their ideals might be, they're doing it because they think it's the right thing. I mean, there's lobbying and all that, which is just for filling their own pockets. Yeah, there's...
We have a patriotism problem here, I feel like.
Yeah.
We like... It's like the two extremes. You're either like a nationalist like threat, or you just hate the country so much that like you don't even feel like you're a part of it.
Yeah.
But so how is that like sustainable?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens over the next 4 years, I guess. I mean, the fact of the matter is that it's going to be Labour.
It's also funny that it's on Independence Day that the vote's been
Yeah,
done.
I did find that funny. Yeah.
So make sure you register out there. I registered for a postal vote the other day.
Please. And don't vote Reform. I can't believe Farage is back. He's been.
I know.
He's been hyped up like Thanos.
Yeah.
He's been in the background for so long.
Yeah. Like right before we came up for the second part, looking out the window and seeing a neighbour with the Reform sign. I hadn't seen one yet.
No.
Then on my own street I see one. Like it's quite upset. That's quite upsetting to me. Yeah. But here we are.
Yeah.
Go say something cheery to put a cherry on top.
Let's go!
Let's go. Let's go out of this country. If Reform gets
What happened to the light?
Yeah,
because it rained partially.
and
So I changed the light, and then
vote Green Party, fix climate change.
we can keep the light consistent.
Ourselves. Yeah. For us, just selfishly, we're gonna lobby to fix climate change. So subscribe to Patreon. It'll be going straight into the Tory party for when they get back in the next 4 years. We'll get them to really bring in the EVs.
More like VEs. Virtual elections.